Wow, an entire video without face cam? Now you don't know what my extremely ugly face looks like today. um, a while back, Barry from Game Grumps made a video where he went through his editing process, and I thought it was really helpful because as a person who was going to get into editing, it was really nice to see how he edits, so I thought I'd teach you that too. I'm going to be editing the video that should have been uploaded like a few days ago where I go through my DVD collection. So I'm going to name it My DVD Collection. Ooh, this is a whole big timeline. So I'm going to drag on my DVD collection video. This is my downloads, and I have things I can delete and then a bunch of random stuff that I cannot explain. And then in Vida 2017, even though it's VED, I completely forget. There's just all of these raw files that I renamed to stuff. Here's the audio for my DVD collection, and that goes on a little bit longer, because I remember when I was filming this, the camera ran out of space. But I was like, okay, because the last thing I said in it was, thanks for watching, as like a joke. But, shut up phone. But how do I know it's in sync? You might think that you just slap them on, and they're, like, synchronized. No, that's not how it works. Like, watch this.
Filming this video the same day as yesterday is what? You are crazy. That's a ridiculous stuff.
That's not in sync at all, is it? That's crap. I mean, imagine watching a video like that. Okay, this is the beginning of my audio. This is where I start speaking.
Filming this video the same...
And I'm gonna find the same bit for the video.
It's what? You are...
Okay, see my mouth moved a bit there. There's me making an F shape kind of there. So if I drag this here, then that should be kind of in sync, and I'll just like edit around that. Now these are in sync, I can just like add them together and link them. So now they're not separate, but now they're one big old clip. This is where my editing style becomes so unique. I'm gonna wait a few frames after I say my last bit and then cut, and you'll be like, what? Why are you doing? That's such a big space between that and your next line. And I'm like, yeah, sure. So, and then I find another part where it's gone quite quiet and there's quite a dip in audio, such as here, or here, or here, you know, one of these places. I had to go to one quiet at the end. Cut it, and then I move this one up and this one down. So it's still a coherent clip.
Watch DVDs anymore, so this is just a random... Shut up.
So you see that shut up right there. Sometimes YouTubers do a thing where they try and emphasize a joke, so they'll like, they'll zoom in on the screen a bit. And how I do that is I click on the clip, and here's all this stuff like motion, position, scale. The position is basically like the X and Y coordinates of where my video is. So if I go like, whoo, then it goes that way. Ooh, if it goes that way. So I'm gonna, then scale, to make it zoom in, I can just be like, whoo, or I can zoom out, or I can zoom in again. But sometimes when you zoom in, it just goes to the middle, and you know that's a bit dumb. Now you just have a really good view of my mum's DVD of Paddington and The Butler. So you know it's never good. But sometimes I usually go to like 104 or so, and then I'll drag that one up, and then that one across, so that it's more like emphasizing my joke as opposed to just the screen. So then it's like,
shut up.
So the reason why I left a huge gap after that is because when I make my first point, which is...
The two shelves that you can see, aka this one and this one, are all of my DVDs. Well, this one is half my DVDs, and like half my family's DVDs, but there's a lot of my DVDs on there.
That's my first point. I'm gonna cut somewhere around the beginning and then drag it over here. So, but that's not just the clip. Usually, I'm gonna slot this right underneath here, so that this video is being played, but this one is like the audio is happening. I feel like it's more fluent. I don't know.
Shut up. The two shelves that you can see, aka this one and this one, are all of...
And that's how I do the thing where the video stays there, but the audio continues from a new clip. You know what? Shut up. I find it more easy than like putting clips side by side, because usually there's like a little bit of like it feels a bit less fluent, and it feels a bit like laggy. I don't know what the word would be. But just look at how smooth this looks.
DVDs on there. First, we got a butt ton of American Dad DVDs.
I'm gonna speed up me editing clips, and I'm gonna do a little speed up montage of me editing these clips, and I'll come back if I want to tell you something. This is montage. Okay, now let's say you want to add some text to a bit. Let's say in this bit about Family Guy, I want to talk about how I missed season 3. So I'd go to Control T, which is adding a title. Here's all my information about that. Name, title 01. I don't care about doing anything. and then this bit will come up, and it's just like a big old picture of what that looks like. And I'm just gonna like click somewhere, like up here, will probably, and then I'll type in like, and you might think, Matt, that font doesn't look very you, so that's why I highlight it. I go to the font duty, and then I go down to Ed's font. It's the font that Ed Gould from Ed's World had, and then Tom Scar released it on the 10th anniversary of Ed's World. So, and I think it looks really like nice and fun and casual. So I use it. He said it. He said that Tom Scar said that anyone who wanted to use it could use it. So I'm not like stealing Ed's font. Okay, back to the montage. See the mouse as I click on the frame. I'm editing, and this is a montage of stuff. I can look at all the thumbnail poses I do. Sometimes I forget to do it, so I have to choose a picture from the video of me like smiling or something. But a lot of the time, I'll take like a billion pictures of me, just kind of pulling different faces and just kind of having different things happen, and then I'll. This one seems good. That's a good one right there. I'm gonna put it in full quality, and then save it under my things I can delete folder, and that'll be my thingy-majib, my thumbnail. That's the thing. Go montage. 3 PM, the usual time to edit. This is a montage of me doing just that. I'm gonna go to my media browser, go to downloads. Right in here, there's the me channel music. I slot it in over here. So I usually make this very big, like extremely big. Then I go down here, I drag the little, this is the volume guy, this is like the little bar that says the volume. I drag it usually to around -22. I'm going to end it right here, the music. So we have a nice outro. Well, not really outro, but like the music ends nicely. And then you would be like, okay, then you save it and upload it, right? No, there's a lot more to that. You have to go to File, Export the media, and yeah, I have to set it in Windows Media. I do HD 1080p 24 frames per second because it's just a lot quicker. Usually I'll do regular videos in like 30 frames or maybe like 50 frames if I'm feeling extra cool. I'm gonna name it My DVD Collection. Basically exporting, it gets all the little clips like all of these guys, and then it shows it into like, and just creates one big old file from it, and that's what exporting does. Now I'm just gonna make my thumbnail on Photoshop. See, welcome back this picture. You may think I look really sweaty, and so do I, which is why I will go to Filter, Camera Raw Filter, and I'm just gonna edit with the edit things until it looks nice. Here's a montage again. Montage, montage. That looks nice. Let's see the picture transform. Yay! That's what the new picture looks like, a more faded one. And in case I think I have too many spots too, I'm gonna go and just, you know, cut out all of my blemishes with the spot removal tool, because I am a self-conscious prick. Then what I'll do is I'll get the like multi-select tool or whatever, and I'll just select around the area that is like the main part of the thumbnail. You may have noticed on all my other thumbnails that I'm usually in focus and the background is abnormally out of focus, and I do that on purpose. Okay, so now we have two layers, one of me, few little like kind of weird things outside me, and then one of this background, which is including me. So what I do now is I select all the pixels, I'll go to select, modify, expand, I'll expand it by 2, and then I'll go to this layer, the bottom layer, and then I will right click it, fill, content aware. This means that it's basically just gonna like guess what's in this little section, and by using the rest of the picture it'll like make up a fake background for me. Alright, nice, this bit will blow your mind. So now we have this frame of me looking all pensive and stuff, and we have this frame of just this made up background, but it doesn't matter how crazy it looks because I'm gonna be covering it in the thumbnail anyway. So I'm gonna Gaussian blur it, I don't know, I'll usually do like 19.4 around the 20 area, so it's like especially blurry, and then I'll just shove me on there. You might be like, oh, but you can see all the little like bits on the outside, and I'll use my rubber and I'll go over them. Now that looks more natural, doesn't it? Okay, the reason why we even blurred the background in the first place is because if I didn't, there would be like me blurred into the background as well, and it would just look really odd. So this is what a normal video thumbnail would look like for me, and usually I'd save that and just like shove it onto my video. But because I'm doing VEDF, here's what I do. I get text, and I'll make it like font size 72 so I can see what I'm doing. VEDF 20, I think. Yeah, let's go Vedv 20. And then I'll put that into Ed's font again as well. Ed's font regular. I'll save that, make sure it's okay. Free transform it, make it huge! And then I can just kind of shove it behind the picture of me. And I'll rotate it a bit. Whew. See, that's nice. And that's a Vedv background thumbnail done. See, look how lovely that looks. Maybe I'll do a little bit of editing around the outside to just kind of, you know, blur the me into the text, because the text is abnormal and dumb. See? And now we have a finished video and thumbnail. Thanks for watching. And then I'll just like shove it on the internet, but you know how to do that. Or you should. And this is not that hard to figure out. Okay, thanks for watching. Happy Vedv.